Hello, this is Angelia, and you are listening to or watching the podcast, Why You Do What You Do. The podcast that talks about human development and psychology to maybe help you figure out a little bit more about why you do what you do. Last time we were talking about aging and how basically restricted calorie diet can help us to live longer. And like I said, none of us are really into that, so, yeah. And we're going to take back up on that. Systematic dietary restriction studies have not yet been done on human beings, and it is doubtful that most people would willingly subject themselves to such a Spartan diet. I know probably not a lot of us would do that. However, more modest caloric reduction, as little as 10%, was found to increase rodent survival by about 24%. So even if you just cut back a little bit, it can be helpful. Making this strategy potentially practical for humans. So it might work for us too, because it worked with the other animals. And like I said, I kind of look at the serving size and then kind of measure on the size of the person, because, a 7-foot, 8-foot tall person is not going to, live off one cookie if that's the serving size. So, just a little common sense. A little common sense is needed with this whole serving size and eating thing. But is it caloric reduction that causes long life, or some related factor? Among 700 healthy men with normal diets, those who live longest showed 3 physiological markers associated with long-term caloric restriction in monkeys. They are low body temperature. I have a low body temperature. My husband has a high body temperature. Low blood insulin levels. I don't have that so much anymore. And high blood levels of dehydroepiandrosterone sulfate, or DHEAS for short, a steroid hormone that diminishes during normal aging. This suggests that there might be other ways to achieve the same results that caloric restriction does, which all of us would love that, through treatments that would affect these markers directly. And like I found now, they got like Wegovy and stuff like that, and I don't know if that's what it works specifically on, but it seems to be working for folks. So, will human beings soon realize the age-old dream of a fountain of youth? If so, some gerontologists fear a rise in the age-related diseases and disabling infirmities. So, even if we do live longer, that might not be such a good thing for us. However, life extension studies in animals and research on human centenarians, many of whom are still healthy and functioning independently, suggest that such fears may be unwarranted and that fatal diseases would come very near the end of a longer life. So the theory, is if you are healthier and you're living a healthier life, then you won't have all that until near the end of the healthier life. Physical changes. How does aging affect physical functioning? Well, a lot of us know how that is. John Glenn's Discovery space mission was intended to shed light on this question. Some physical changes typically associated with aging are obvious to a casual observer. Older skin tends to become paler, splotchier, and less elastic. And as fat and muscle shrink, the skin may wrinkle. Yeah, that's not cool, but it's what happens. Varicose veins of the legs become more common. The hair on the head turns white and becomes thinner, and body hair becomes sparser. Older adults become shorter as the discs between their spinal vertebrae atrophy, and stoop posture may make them look even smaller. Now, I have degenerative disc disease now, so I'm shrinking. Thinning of the bones may cause a dowager's hump at the back of the neck, especially in women with osteoporosis. In addition, the chemical composition of the bones changes, creating a greater risk of fractures. That's why you got to make those old folks, help them out a little bit, and if they need the walker, make them walk with the walker so that they don't break a hip or something like that. Less visible changes affect internal organs and body systems, the brain, and sensory, motor, and sexual functioning. Organic and systematic changes. Changes in organic and systematic functioning are highly variable, both among and within individuals. So everybody ages in their own way. Some body systems decline rapidly, others hardly at all. Aging, together with chronic stress, can depress immune function, making older people more susceptible to colds, pneumonia, and other respiratory infections. Try to alleviate that stress if you're getting older. The digestive system, on the other hand, remains relatively efficient. Among the more serious changes are those affecting the heart. Its rhythm tends to become slower and more irregular. Deposits of fat accumulate around it and may interfere with functioning, and blood pressure often rises. So, if your heart starts talking to you, listen, because that's not good. Trust me, I know. So, try and cut out as much fat as you can. Another important change that may affect health is a decline in reserve capacity, or organ reserve, a backup capacity that helps body systems function to their utmost limits in times of stress. With age, reserve levels tend to drop, and many older people cannot respond to extra physical demands as quickly or efficiently as before. So, again, don't expect that you're just going to go out like you did when you were 20 and do whatever. A person who used to be able to shovel snow and then go skiing afterward may now exhaust the heart's capacity just by shoveling. And if you ever had heart problems, you know that there's a point where it's like, I'm exhausted, I can't do any more. I can't, it's just, I'm wiped. Still, many normal, healthy older adults like John Glenn barely notice changes in systematic functioning. Many activities do not require peak performance to be enjoyable and productive. So, like sitting here, talking to y'all, trying to teach you something. By pacing themselves, most older adults can do just about anything they need and want to do. So, when you get older, you might have to just slow down quite a bit and go at your own pace and do the things that you need and want to do. You can't run around. I wear myself out every now and then trying to run around and get a lot done, but it doesn't work. The aging brain. In normal, healthy older people, changes in the brain are generally modest and make little difference in functioning. After age 30, the brain loses weight, at first slightly, then more rapidly, until by age 90, it may have lost up to 10% of its weight. So, there's definitely some loss there as we age. This weight loss has been attributed to a loss of neurons, nerve cells, in the cerebral cortex, the part of the brain that handles most cognitive tasks. Newer research suggests that the cause is not a widespread reduction in the number of neurons, but rather a shrinkage in neuronal size due to loss of connective tissue, such as axons, dendrites, and synapses. This shrinkage seems to begin earlier and to advance more rapidly in the frontal cortex, which is important to memory and high-level cognitive functioning. So that's where you might start noticing it, is complex, critical thinking and functioning and your memory. Formation of lesions in the white matter of axons can affect cognitive performance. And my husband has scar tissue in his brain from a stroke, and there is some affecting his cognitive performance. Changes in the brain vary considerably from one person to another. Certain brain structures, including the cerebral cortex, shrink more rapidly in men than in women. Sorry, guys, that's why you get forgetful faster. Cortical atrophy also occurs more rapidly in less educated people, and that's because you're not using your brain as much. It has been suggested that education or related factors, such as high income or decreased likelihood of disability, may increase the brain's reserve capacity, its ability to tolerate potentially injurious effects of aging. Aerobic exercise can slow brain tissue loss, and that's because you're getting a lot of oxygen and blood circulation to it. In rats, a diet heavy in fruits and vegetables can retard or reverse age-related declines in brain function. And of course, I think we all know that you should be eating more fruits and vegetables instead of the fake food that we eat now. And that's where I'm going to leave you for today. I hope this helped you figure out maybe a little bit more about why you do what you do. Please like and share this educational program so we can spread it around the world. If you want to help me out, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to help me out even more, go to my Patreon page and become a patron. Thanks for watching. Until next time.